Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story? I'll just say that I am 42 years old and I am a long distance bus driver. So I operate between Johannesburg and Harare and back to Johannesburg again. So usually when we are operating on this route, you need to have money on you at all the times, whether you like it or not, whether you have a problem on your bus or you do not. You have to pay a traffic cop something. It does not matter if it is in South Africa or if it is in Zim. It is the same story. You need to move around at least with a cold drink, so that you, whenever you are stopped by the police, you just pay something so that they can let you go. And my boss, he loved me a lot, because whenever I would travel, my bus from Joburg, we would only stop here and there, but never to be stopped by the police. I would never pay no bribe, no roadblocks. It does not even matter if there is a big roadblock. My bus will just be let go by the police. No unnecessary checks. But now when I look at my life, because of the charms that I was using, my life is now falling apart. And I keep on seeing the spirits of babies. They haunt me in my sleep. I always have terrifying nightmares, and nothing in my life is going very well. I really do not know if me coming with my story here on your platform, I am going to get people that are going to assist me, because that is all that I want. I am a man who does not have peace anymore in his life because of the charms that I was using as a bus driver. So what happened, Brother Nashi, was that I visited a traditional healer in Epworth, and this traditional healer, he was the one who helped me with the rituals and the charms, because I was using the ashes of a fetus so that I can make money and I can move between Zim and South Africa without ever being caught by the police. And now it is backfiring, and I have to sacrifice my own old mom if I want to survive. I am being tormented because I have refused to kill anyone else apart from the baby that I killed. Will I survive if I do not do that sacrifice as I was told? This is how I started smuggling drugs. All that I needed was money. I was working as a local bus driver in Zim, but the salary was low, way too low. And then that was when I was introduced to this other bus company that I am currently working for. The pay was okay, but still it was the same struggles. And then I started to operate as a cross-border driver. And in Joburg, there was this other guy, my so-called friend, whom I'll call Pedisai, who is also a bus driver, a cross-border bus driver. Me and him, we used to talk a lot, until when everyone was just surprised by this move that he took. So he bought a vehicle and he had a lot of money. We did not even know how he was making all of that money. We knew that he was doing some deals, but no one even knew what kind of deals this man was making. So one day I got the nerves and I said, Pezi, you need to tell me, how are you making money? And he said, if you want to make real money, I know people who can give you goods to transport from South Africa, and you will drop them off in Harare, in Zim, and then you are going to make good money. That was fine. I agreed, since he said that this was the fastest way ever to get rich. So I was using a fetus to have myself protected from the police, because these goods that he said were supposed to be transported, I later realized that these were drugs. He took me to Hillbrow. We met this other man who was responsible for transporting those drugs from Hillbrow straight to Harare. And in Harare, when you get there, you will be given your money. It was a good deal. We went and we collected them, but it was not always that we would go to Hillbrow to collect these drugs. They would bring those Nigerians, they would bring the drugs to us, and then I would neatly wrap them in a small package, and then I will keep it aside, knowing that this is my own stuff. or mix it with some of the stuff that the passengers would have brought with them, the groceries and other things. And when we would have arrived in Harare, I would make sure to quickly find that small package and hand it over to the team in Harare, and then I'll be given my money. He then told me that in order for me to stay safe, I was supposed to find at least a traditional healer who could assist me so that my bus will never be stopped by the police. And if the police will stop the bus, then they will just feel lazy to search the bus. That is how I was surviving. I would get to a roadblock, maybe the bus will get stopped. Instead of the police coming to search, they will just feel lazy. They will just greet me or the assistant bus driver, and then we will be on our way, no matter how heavy the roadblock would be. So I was using the ashes of my baby whom I had sacrificed, and I was given those ashes in a bottle which I used to carry around. When I would be coming to South Africa, I'll be having 2 backpacks, the other one with the clothes for me to wear, as well as the towels and the lotion and the soap. Then the other bag, it had that bottle that had the ashes of the fetus that I had sacrificed. So this is how I sacrificed that fetus, my child. I was told to find a woman whom I was supposed to impregnate. I started dating this other lady who was a single mother. Me and her, we fell in love. I quickly impregnated her, and when she was somewhere around 5 months, that was when she had an abortion, but she did not know that this was enforced abortion. I went with her to this traditional healer in Epworth. She was given some charms, and when she drank those charms, that was when she had an abortion. And then the traditional healer and I, we took that little baby. It was still very little, just a fetus, and then we went with it into the bushes. The excuse that we gave this woman, according to our Shona culture, when a woman has an miscarriage and when the baby is somewhere around 5, 6 up to 9 months, the baby is supposed to be buried when the mother is not around. So she remained behind whilst she was being cleaned up by the traditional healer's wife, and then we pretended as if we were going to bury this fetus close to the river, as it is supposed to be done according to our custom. But we did not go somewhere very far. We just went into the bushes. We then light a fire, and then we took that fetus and placed it on top of the fire until it was completely burnt. He then took all the ashes and placed them in the bucket, because when we went into the bushes, we had placed that fetus into a bucket, and then the ashes, he placed it again in that bucket. And when we arrived at his shrine, he then gave me the ashes and said, put it in a bottle. Wherever you are, these ashes, they are supposed to be with you. He gave me a plastic bottle, and then I took the ashes and put them inside that plastic bottle, and then I started working. I was never checked by the police. I was making money until when this traditional healer passed away and the nightmares have begun. I am seeing strange children sometimes that walk in my house at night. There was this other time when I was fast asleep in the bus. I then had a baby that was waking me up, and when I woke up, I had babies that were saying, wake up, Baba, wake up, we are your children, wake up, wake up. I panicked, and then I started looking for help from prophets as well as traditional healers. So I have been told by this other traditional healer that I have visited, who is very powerful. This man has then told me that in order for me not to lose my mind, this is what is supposed to happen. I am supposed to sacrifice my own mother, and after we would have sacrificed my mother, then what is going to happen is that a spirit is going to be woken up, and it will come to fight for me against these topologies that I keep on seeing in my dreams and hearing in real time. When you post my story, please tell me, because I need advice. I have refused to kill my mom, but I am scared of losing my mind. How will I survive if I refuse to sacrifice my own mother? Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brother right there. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us talk about this in the comment section